I seen a post where the men was saying that the girls got kids, but ain't never been on dates. They have children, but have never in their life been on a date.
At some point, we have to have a real conversation, and really it has to be multiple conversations about the negative impact of casual sex culture. Because, on the one hand, a negative impact of casual sex culture is that many of us become used to engaging in instant gratification and hope as opposed to delayed gratification and a plan when it comes to romantic relationships. Let me say that again. Casual sex culture has caused many of us to rely upon instant gratification and hope as opposed to delayed gratification and a plan when it comes to romantic relationships. And so what happens is, with that woman said in that video where there's a whole bunch of women who date and have sex and have never been on a date, that's a fact. I have come across women who are in their late 20s, early 30s, high body counts, reputations around town, even had kids who had never been on a date. And when I say never been on a date, I don't mean like the number one steakhouse in the city. I don't mean like a tomahawk steak, Uber Black, a dozen roses. He sends you an outfit saying where. I don't mean none of that. I mean like when I say some of these women had these situations and had never been on a date, what I mean is never had a guy pick her up and take her to Applebee's or the TGI Fridays or the Cheddars or the Texas Roadhouse. I mean, literally, never had a man pick her up and drive her somewhere to purchase her a meal. Not one time. Even though she's in her late 20s, early 30s, with a reputation around town and or has children and never been on a date. That's a real thing. Why? Because once again, casual sex culture leads people to a place where they will go for the instant gratification and hope for the future as opposed to delayed gratification and a plan. Meaning, they'd rather sleep with a man and hope it leads to something than to have real standards and plan a future with a man. They'd rather do that. But guess what? It's not just one-sided with women. Because just like there's a whole bunch of women, well, I can't say a whole bunch, but just like there's some women out there who have kids and high body counts and reputations that have never been on a proper date, there's a good amount of men out there who have paid bills, taken care of a woman, married a woman, moved the woman in, been a stepdaddy, done all those things, and never been loved by a woman, never been respected by a woman, never had a woman pour into him, never had a woman congratulate him, never had a woman compliment him. And you know how you can tell this? If you get on social media, there's a good portion of men who will go insane when they see a woman say something nice to their man, who will go insane when they see a woman cook for their man, who will go insane when they see a woman make a plate for a man. Because believe it or not, there's a good portion of men who, once again, have been married, have been stepdaddies, have been providers, who have never been in a situation where the woman was actually into them and actually liked them and actually was nice to them and actually poured into them. Now, let's be real. A lot of the guys that you hear talk bad about marriage, they'll tell you, when you get married, the woman is not nice, she's not sweet, she's not loving, she's not caring, she's not nurturing. That's really some guys' experiences. Just like there's some women who you can't believe she's 30 years old and has kids and has a reputation and never been on a date. There's plenty of men out there who have been married, who have provided, who have moved women in, who have taken care of women, who have been the stepdad of the year. And they can honestly tell you, they can't remember a time where a woman was nice to them, where a woman complimented them, where a woman was into them, where a woman truly loved them, where a woman truly poured into them. It's a lot more of that going on than people want to admit, but that's what it is. There are so many negative consequences to casual sex culture, and this is one of them. You have people who have whole relationships and build whole families and have kids and give their bodies and their resources and their love and their time and their last names to people, and they've never been treated properly by the opposite gender. And you're thinking, how can this be? But it's actually becoming the norm. Straight up.